Do you know what this year marks, Thomas?
Yes, this year's the 10th anniversary of QTalks.
Yay, we get cake! Today I have with me Thomas, who is a Chief Product Owner at QTalks and at Davanti-WICS. Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Thomas van der Maas. I'm now working at Davanti-WICS for 12 years. I started off as an implementation consultant and then joined the development department. And now since 8 to 9 years, I'm part of the QTalks development team. And working also with Qubiz already for 8 to 9 years.
Very nice, very nice. We're glad to have you alongside with us. Thomas, we've started in 2015 with QTalks. What differentiates QTalks from other WMS systems? How has it evolved over time?
Yeah, I think when we just started, we were a leader in the market with the way we designed the application, the way we looked at the application, the way we looked at the WMS market and what we could achieve with a SaaS application in the cloud. I think also we were one of the first adopters of using bits of AI within our application.
Indeed we were.
Yeah, and step by step we continued to move forward and differentiate ourselves by being a leader on the WMS market from a technology perspective.
What do you think are the biggest challenges companies face for modernizing their warehousing operations, and how can technology help in that sense?
Logistics is quite practical.
Yeah.
And logistics is also quite stubborn. So people are used to continue to work like they worked in the past. So if something worked for 5 or 6 years, it will work again for 5 or 6 years. And they will just continue to work like that forever and ever and ever, and have less thoughts on how things could improve or could change for the better.
Indeed, I've noticed that also with our production customers, which are sometimes reluctant to receive new information, which of course associates with what you just said regarding the stubbornness of the industry, so to say.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward on how many companies struggle with outdated software and disconnected systems. What's the risk of modernizing a WMS?
The risk of modernizing a WMS comes with a couple of things. It's quite expensive, and logistics is a market that where the margins are really thin. We're talking about cents per pallet or cents per storage day. So a bad investment could mean the end of a company. It's that tight in logistics, especially for the smaller logistics service providers.
You are so right, and I've also seen that when they come to us and they ask for our help, I think it's really important for us to understand their domain. And when we work with them to provide them the best solutions. I know also we were doing that consultancy part as well, which is indeed helping them achieve their end goal. So involving us was really fun, and it is really fun in the market. Okay, we've worked together for years now. Based on your experience, what makes a great software development partner? In logistics, of course.
Logistics. Now, I think in general, if you look at the software development partners, it's important that they are involved. And I think as a customer, you play a big role in that, but I think also as a supplier, you play a big role in that. That you really try to make it a corporation instead of leasing resources. I think leasing resources, will not bring the end goal a lot closer. I think when you work together and you work closely together and you know each other's challenges, but also each other's goals that you want to achieve, then I think anything is possible with any software development partner also in logistics.
Indeed, that was our main focus when we started to work together, not just as you said, supply and demand, but basically creating a sort of a family, a sort of a group that helps each other in achieving the goal, because your wins are also our wins. From a company perspective, a logistics perspective, it also helped us in the company gain more knowledge in the domain. So we have really done some great things in these years. We see a lot of AI around us, and we also see it a lot on demand. Any predictive analytics in warehouse management? Where do you think companies struggle most in adopting these technologies, so to say?
If you look at opportunities for AI, you look at forecasting, you look at predicting how many resources are needed in a day, or how many pallets will go in, how many pallets will go out, what throughput will be. But logistics can really change day by day. If you have, for instance, in the summer a bad day of weather, it can mean that there is less ice cream to be sold.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to predict things, because there are so many factors that you need to take into account.
Yet we can, based on everything we've learned in these years, for some of the companies, we can help in predicting. For instance, for those which are not implicated in commercial things like expert goods that expire, for instance, like if we do have clients with furniture or with appliances for the homes, those ones are not directly influenced. So in somewhat of a way, we can
I think especially within the warehouse itself, there are easier ways to achieve goals with AI. I think we should focus especially on that, looking at where pallets need to be stored, where pick locations need to be settled within a warehouse, what's the optimal location to have pallets or to get pallets or to combine movements to take them at the same time. So AI is certainly possible in logistics, but we also need to take into account that's a very volatile market.
Do you know how can a strong tech partner help overcome those challenges?
A strong tech partner can help, because a lot of logistic companies don't have the knowledge and the experience on those levels. So with the expertise on that end, we can, or you can, depending on how you're saying it, we can help them achieve goals, achieve new business, achieve things that they could not expect that they could achieve with that company in such short time. It's basically help them achieve their goals.
And as you've said earlier, working together more than just a facilitator will help them achieve even more. Whilst we understand their business and they understand our strengths, then we can work together in achieving something really great. Some companies hesitate to develop custom logistics software because, well, as you know, they think it's complex, it's expensive. What's the long-term return on investment of having tailored solutions, and rather than relying on a generic solution? I know we've worked on developing Corax as a generic solution because the market is more broader for us. But do you think that maybe the return on investment would be appropriate for?
You need to be quite big to have the financial resources to go for a tailored solution. I think indeed, if you have enough capacity and enough people, enough money to do it, it certainly can bring value. It can certainly make the technical solution as desired and as it could be, with every wish, every bit of bite that you would like to have in. But tailored solutions comes with a cost price.
Indeed. And when we look as partners within the new prospects that we have, new prospect clients that we have, I know we're also checking their requests and trying to integrate them within the application so that it's not tailored, but somehow we can offer them what they would like without having them invest in a tailored solution. Am I correct on this?
Yeah, we try to improve Corex day by day, and our goal is to be able to share Corex within a broad as possible market on logistics. So we don't only focus on production companies, but also on logistics service suppliers. We're looking at not only moving pallets around, but also B2C, for instance. So consumer goods. The market is divided in different pieces, and we're trying to get as much pieces as possible to
accommodate
Corex with as much pieces of the market as possible.
Indeed. Saying that, it's triggered a question: how important is real-time data and predictive analytics in a modern warehouse? Because, as you said, we're trying to cover a lot of ground and a lot of different domains within the market for our partners. So I'm expecting real-time information is quite a piece of conversation, a topic of conversation in most sales.
It depends on the market. In some markets, real-time data is really, really important, especially in the consumer goods. If you look at web shops, for instance, if you buy something from a web shop, you want to know when the package will be at your house, because you need to be at home, for instance.
Yeah.
So then real-time data on if it was already picked, if it was already shipped, if the driver is already on its way, is really, really important. You see that also when you're just moving pallets around from distribution center to distribution center. They want to know where goods are, of course, but it's less tight than with B2C goods.
Being a chief product owner, you need to think strategically about trends and what gets implemented. What are your opinions? So what are you more interested in the supply chain domain?
Oh yeah, the world of the supply chain is indeed broader than just logistics. It's as I already said, there's a lot of B2C right now compared to years and years ago, and also the supply chain is therefore different. Also, environmental thingies are coming into play. Like, for instance, that you're not allowed to go into city centers with certain vehicles. City centers are harder to reach, so you need to work with couriers, you need to perhaps work with bike couriers and that kind of stuff to get your goods where you want them to be. So the connection between all those dots within the whole supply chain is getting more complicated. You need different systems to achieve that. You need a WMS for the warehousing activities, a trip management system for trip-related activities, track and trace systems to see where the goods are and at which moment the ETA of the goods is where they when they reach the customer. So it's becoming more and more complicated.
But that's the fun part out of it.
You
always have something to do, and the really the thing that I'm also so to say excited about it's somewhat never ending, but always you have to use your imagination and think, okay, this will come and this will come and this is something that we can do. which is really exciting.
It's always evolving.
Indeed.
It's always evolving.
With supply chains becoming more unpredictable, how can a WMS system solution like Corax help warehouses scale and adapt quickly?
WMS solutions can help with that, to be the stable factor within the warehouse. If you also have a solution that you can't rely on, then of course it will be even more volatile than it already is. So if you can rely on a stable software solution that guides you to the processes in your warehouse, that helps you out when needed, that gives you the information when you need the information, it makes life so much easier.
That's a really valid point. I don't want to keep you too long, so I have one more question for you. What are you most excited about right now within the logistics or within the Corax development?
I think the shift that's currently going on in the market, where in the past it was a lot of business to business, and now the world is evolving way more to go from business to business to business to consumer. So that also brings a lot of challenges for logistics service suppliers. It also brings a lot of opportunities because it's now really easy to start your own web shop or to reach customers. But also your software solution need to be adapted to that and be able to support that. It gives new challenges, it gives new opportunities, and it keeps you going.
Indeed. Thank you very much for joining me, Thomas. And we'll keep everyone in touch with the latest changes.
Yeah, you're welcome.